I didn't sell out, son. I bought in. Keep that in mind.
Welcome to episode 264 of The Independent Characters. This is Carl, and I am joined by legends in the podcasting community, the entire cast of Life After the Cover Save. Ed, Robo-Ed, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Travis, welcome.
Yeah!
And Big Nasty Blake.
Greetings.
I really wanted to make sure Blake joined us this time because last time when it was just Ed and Travis, Blake got very put out that he was left out of the situation.
Yeah. So put out.
It was just a question and answer segment.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't give me in for questions and answers.
I'm always leery of your answers, so we're going to see how it goes this episode. This show is sponsored by Corey Crosting and how do I pronounce this? Oberitics. These are two of our Patreon subscribers. Thank you so much for your amazing support. Really do appreciate it. We are part of the Goonhammer Media Network, so you can check us out at media.goonhammer.com for more shows and information. And then I want to talk a little bit about what this episode is about. So there have been many years of Warhammer 40K at this point, and in that intervening time, I was recently looking at some like historical deals and things that you used to be able to get in an old catalog, and I was thinking, man, there were some great expansions that came out over a period of time. What were kind of my favorites? And I was having this epiphany moment, and I was like, I wonder what everybody else thinks about this. So we have generated secretly from each other our top 5 expansions or supplements.
Supplement was the key operative word I used to make my list.
Fair enough. And you guys checked with me. I said, you can pick whatever you want. It's fine. I just feel like it had the most impact on 40K for you, right? Like it was a aha moment for you or something along those lines, or something that really sparked interest for you.
And you know, because of that, I think there might be some better supplements, but if I never played it, I didn't pick it.
I think that's fair too. I think that's a fair assessment as well. That's just
me. Listen, I wrote my own rules.
Yeah, I knew this was going to go off the rails real fast. So anyway, what we will do is we'll kind of reveal one at a time, going from our bottom of that top 5 to the top of it over the episode, and we'll kind of discuss what we liked about that. Maybe it will create some arguments or disagreement, or maybe we'll find that a lot of us pick the same things. We will find out soon. The other thing I want to talk about before we get started with the show is I want to talk about the 2025 Hobby Progress Challenge, which by the time this is released broadly, will have been in effect for 1 day. So you still have plenty of time to submit your first entry. All the rules for the Hobby Progress Challenge are on the website at theindependentcharacters.com. We've tried to make it more flexible than ever so that you can get credit for almost anything you're painting. Plus, you can earn bonus points quite easily, much easier than last time. That was all Shell's idea. I'll try to get Shell on for a quick interview to go over her thinking around that, because she's really running the whole thing, and we'll find out hopefully why she wants to run the whole thing. But
doing an amazing job.
She is.
So you're starting the 2025 Hobby Progress Challenge?
Mm-hmm. It's 2025, 2026.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. that makes sense.
We go on an academic school year.
I kind of, last year we did 2024, 2025, and I wanted to be like definitive. It's like, this is the 2025 one. Next year will be the 2026 one.
You should just fudge it out until January.
Well, everybody was very excited to get started, man. A lot of us like to paint stuff. We have paint jams.
I'm just saying, the 2025 starts in
2025.
August,
Yeah.
September,
What year?
September 2025.
What year is it?
2025.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So we got like what? Like a 3-month challenge?
Yeah. We have 100. No, it runs for 12 months, dude.
Oh, so it's a 2025, 2026.
Blake is here to bring the
All right, he's
dissenting
bringing the heat.
voice.
Okay. We have so far something like
yeah.
we have
hundreds of
100
people.
we have 151 people signed up for it already. I will start
What do I got to do to be a part of this?
Well, you just got to go to the independentcharacters.com, look at the instructions there, but basically what you're doing is committing each month to I'm going to paint a unit. Even if you don't get that unit completed in that month, Blake, and like say you say in January, I'm going to paint
2026. I'm gonna mute myself.
say you say in January that you're going to paint a squad of blood angels, Blake. And so you post up at the beginning of January, I'm going to paint this squad. Here it is unpainted, a picture of it. And you don't get it done until June. You can still get a point for that, and you get entered into a drawing. You get one entry into a drawing for that. But if you complete it in January and then complete another one in February, another one in March, you get 3.
So if I don't finish his Blood Angel squad in time, Blake doesn't get the points.
That's right.
Is what I'm hearing.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm also hearing a lot of fan noise on your microphone there, Ed, just so you know.
It's the air conditioner.
Yeah. It's going to be hot down there. You're going to have to
He
deal with
has
it.
it muted up.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Okay, so anyway, all the instructions for how to do that are on the Independent Characters website. You can go to the independentcharacters.com. There is no A in independent characters. Well, there's in characters there is, but there's no A in independent. Okay, why don't we, have you guys picked Elite Choice options, or did you guys forego that?
I picked an Elite Choice. An Elite Choice is like something that we've seen recently that's really good.
In the community that you really, really enjoyed?
I have to say my Blood Angel models that were painted by Ed.
I think that's a fair call out. I think that's a fair call out. Send me
Painted
some
by
pictures
Ed.
of them because they are fantastic looking. Ed has really progressed as an airbrushing painter and painter extraordinaire.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's my Elite Choice.
all right.
I do have an elite choice, if I may.
Yeah, please go ahead.
This is Chris Jones. He posted there was 6 identical Bugman miniatures from a board game that he has that I'm not familiar with, but this miniature just speaks to my old world soul, and I think he did a really great job. And they all have different colored bases, which I'm sure has something to do with the board game. But I really, really enjoyed this little project that he posted, and probably the colorful bases.
Oh, these were each of the Bugman Mini himself, right?
Yeah. They're all identical, like Joseph Bugman minis from the Bugman's game, which I'm not familiar with.
I'm not familiar with it either.
I found it delightful. So shout out to Chris Jones. That made my day when I saw it 6 days ago or something like that.
All right.
Bugmans.
All right. I'll go next. I picked just recently Happy R. Bougie, Happy R. Booze, and his 6,000 points of Tau that he painted up in 14 months.
Yes.
Holy mackerel. And these are cool looking. Like, I love the color scheme. They pop off the Martian kind of soil bases. Like 6,000 points. And then you go, and then it's not just the Tau, then it's all the Kroot stuff that he added to it. It's a fantastic looking army. I'd be more than happy to play against this thing. Well, except that it's Tau.
Listen, I wouldn't be happy to play against it, but I would.
But I'd appreciate the look of the
I'd
table.
appreciate how beautiful it is.
So, yeah.
Well, to be fair, Travis isn't happy to play against most people. But he's just happy to play.
He was happy to play against me.
Well, that's different. That's different.
How's that different?
It's you.
Yeah, but I'm most people.
Well, listen, let's not get into it, but those games are different.
That's true.
Yes,
That's
those
true.
games are very different.
Ed, did you pick anything for your elite choice?
I did not.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Somebody didn't understand the assignment.
I was told to pick my 5
Your 5.
supplements.
To be fair,
and that's what I did.
And And I just quickly had an elite choice.
Yeah, you
I
pulled
just
it out.
pulled it out of my
You pulled it
hat.
out, Blake. All right, so let's talk about what we've been painting lately and working on. I have been painting Terminator heads for Shell's Space Hulk adventure there. And I'm applying decals on Imperial Fists and Salamanders at the moment. So then once those are done, I'm going to do the oil wash that Travis sat down and spent time online showing me how to do. So I'm excited to see how that all comes out. I should probably have those done this week.
I love oil washes.
I know you do.
I'm addicted now.
Well, I've seen the results you've gotten from your Space Wolves, Travis, and is just, and Josh has been talking to me, oh, you got to oil wash this. You got to oil. I'm like, oh, come down and show me how. Well, I can't make it this time.
Yeah.
So finally, Travis online walked me through each step of the process. And
it wasn't good. It was like a dirty FaceTime video, but you know what? It got the point across.
It got my confidence up, so I'm ready to do it. And what could go wrong?
Well, speaking of Space Wolves, I'll go next.
Yeah, go.
Since that's
let me add one more thing. The other
sorry.
thing I did was you can go to our sector blog on the independentcharacters.com, and you can see that I've updated one game so far. I'm about to update another one that was played between Tom and Aaron, I think. So that'll be updated soon too. So you can check out the games we're playing in our shared sector. So Travis.
I personally am really enjoying that sector blog. I it's reminiscent of like almost second edition Games Workshop battle reports.
Yeah.
Where they weren't really talking about the rules of the game so much as they were building this kind of like narrative of what was happening. And they had the cool maps showing where everything
Yeah,
moved,
I didn't do any maps, but like.
Well, yeah. But I'm just saying it gives me that same feeling of those old battle reports that I really enjoyed.
That was kind of the objective. That was kind of the objective. So I'm glad it's hitting home.
Objective secured.
What? Oh, nice. Oh, I like that. I got to write that down. Oh man, I'm writing that down. That was a good one. I'm stealing your stuff, Ed, for your team. Objective secured. What have you been working on, Travis?
Space Wolves is pretty much all I've been working on. And I got into a little bit of a rut, I think, with the Space Wolf Terminators, the new ones that just came out. And really, they're just so detailed in their crotchal regions that are it's difficult to get to, and it kind of slowed me down because there's so many cool things, and I wanted to hit them all. But
you want to do it right.
Yeah,
exactly. You don't want to 50% it. I wanted these models are so good.
They really are. I have a squad
good.
of the Terminators for the Space Hulk thing, the Space Wolf Terminators, and they are incredible.
It's a really, really great models. But that being said, I think it took me 3 weeks, which is kind of off pace for me. But I finished the squad of 5 yesterday is when they finally got put onto their proper bases and they're on the shelf, and really happy with how they turned out.
Travis, the thing is we've watched as you have progressed through building this Space Wolf army from nothing to how many points would you say you have as Space Wolves at this point?
So that I have 4,500 painted. I have 3,000 points painted. Right now.
It's a good sized army, and it's getting bigger still. It's great.
Land Raider will get a big.
I gotta get a Land Raider.
That'll be another 250, 280 points, whatever those.
Yeah.
are.
Someday I'll get a Land Raider,
and I'm telling you, it's a great vehicle.
It's the best vehicle in the game, and it kind of makes me mad. But you know what? I digress. But yes, I'm very happy, and it's funny. I have 5 of the starter box. Shooty Terminators.
Yeah.
And I did put a few wolf things on them, and side by side they look okay. But I'm like, I'm probably gonna have to get another box of 5 of these Terminators.
Yeah.
You have to.
I think I have to.
All right.
Here's something about Travis. If you tell him to do something, his first reaction is no. I'm not going to do that. That's not how I'm going to play it. But if you tell him enough times to do it, he just does it, and that's it.
It breaks it down.
Travis, I don't know if you know. Land Raiders are really good. You really got to get one.
That's what I've been hearing.
At least one. You'll really need two because you also want one that's a redeemer.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
And I hate magnetizing.
Why? Why magnetize? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, why magnetizing? You spend another $140 or whatever those things cost. Okay, Ed, what have you been painting?
I have been working on some of Blake's Blood Angels. He bought a Battle Force, and I'm working on a repulsor currently.
How many entries in the Hobby Progress Challenge is that for Blake so far?
I don't know.
Quite a lot.
How many points? I hope I win.
You know, I'll get into my Sisters of Battle soon, but Ed, if you want to paint those up for me, like you're doing for Blake.
Well, you know, I'm paying him a little bit.
Are you?
Yeah.
What have you been doing for Hobby Progress, Blake?
Dude, oh man, nonstop.
Nonstop what?
Nonstop 3D printing. I recently, I mean, okay, I guess in the past week, I kickstarted 1490 Doom.
Okay.
And they have like a modular castle.
Okay.
So I've been printing out on my A1 mini bamboo the castle blocks.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been burning through a lot of filament, let me tell you.
Let me ask you a question, because I have listened to your show, and every episode I hear about you printing up more stuff.
Yeah.
Have you played with any of this stuff or painted any of this stuff? Or are you just accumulating a larger and larger pile of models that are unpainted, unutilized?
I have painted,
and it's a legitimate question. I'm not trying to like one of the problems I think with getting a printer is that you end up just like increasing your pile of potential there. You know?
I have printed. Well, first off, I mean, a lot of these guys are already zenithal and ready to go. I would say from soup to nuts. I did about 14 zombies.
Okay.
And I mean, really, I haven't really printed out that many models, you know.
Okay.
I still have purchased far more models than
you've printed?
I've actually printed, yeah.
Interesting.
But you know, I print a lot of terrain. I print a lot of bases.
Can you hold up those models again? Are those Games Workshop models?
No, they're not. So I can't show them.
Didn't think they were.
No.
So I can't.
Not this guy.
So I can't show them. Yeah. Okay.
But look it up there. There's the Games Workshop right there.
These are all. What's the game you're playing? The fantasy game you're playing? That's not
Conquest.
No, those aren't even Conquest.
Argument of Kings.
Argument of Kings.
Conquest. Last Argument of Kings.
Argument of Players.
Yeah. Last Argument of Players. But you know, so lately I've been printing out these castle bricks.
Yeah.
So that's been fun.
Cool.
That printer is just humming along.
All right. I printed a lot of terrain at a printer.
I would say that as well. Yeah, I printed a lot of terrain overall.
For me, I think
probably put in more terrain than anything. You know.
Yeah. I've definitely that's definitely been my number one thing, and I have a resin printer. I just don't use it that often because if I were playing more like, and I've said this before, if I was playing more like role-playing games in person, I think I would be printing up role-playing game models for that. But, you know, anyway. All right. Speaking of games played, the only game I have played recently was just yesterday. My friends Jamie, Steve, and Aaron came over. And Jamie has maybe played 3 or 4 games at this point. He's done a lot of painting. He's playing Tau right now. He also has a pretty sizable Tyranid army. Steve is playing Blood Angels. Aaron has painted up about 1,000 points of his Voton, Leagues of Voton at this point. And they're looking really good. And so they were like, oh, can we get a team game in to help Aaron learn the Voton and Jamie learn his Tau a little bit? I was like, sure. And then I said, well, what am I going to play? I don't, Chaos isn't going to thematically, it doesn't pair with any of these things. And I think it was Steve said, why don't you play your Sisters of Battle? And I said, well, I don't have I don't even think I have 1,000 points painted at this point. I have, a squad of sisters and a couple rhinos painted. And I go, but you know what? Maybe like when I did my Chaos, my Black Legion stuff, maybe if I start playing a game, it'll kind of kickstart me. Okay, I'm going to finish getting this stuff painted up. So I did play a game with about a third of the stuff fully painted and other things in progress of being painted.
Ew.
Yeah.
And they let you do that?
I did feel a little dirty.
God, I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be sick.
I've always been a proponent of, if like you're trying to work out a list, like play with those units, see if it works, and then decide if that's where you're going to focus your energy painting stuff.
As long as the table looked good.
The table looked great. Almost everybody's army looked good except mine. But let me tell you, Saint Celestine is a beast, man. Like,
she keeps coming back, right?
She can come back once, but what she can do is her two sisters that are with her. Can't remember what they're called. Sister Superior. I can't remember what they're called, but they're pretty good. I mean, all these models are toughness 3, but they have like a 2-up, 4-up save, and Celestine has this thing called something of the tears. Like, she'll basically, if one of her bodyguards is killed, she essentially cries over her and she comes back in the command phase. So it's like I had one get killed, then I brought it back, and like that unit was just, it is so durable. It's so shockingly durable for a toughness 3 model. And I took out a bunch of Tau Crisis suits with it, and then I started to assault not a broadside. I can't remember the other larger suit, but
Riptide,
not the
Ghost
Riptide.
Keel.
Not the Ghost
Keel?
Nope.
Well, that's all there is.
Oh, maybe it is a Ghost Keel then.
A Storm Surge?
Storm Surge. No.
That's a really big
Not the biggest one. Not the biggest one.
Okay.
Like, anyway, who cares?
Shamu.
She's no joke, and she has like a ranged attack that's just as strong as her sword attack. Like, that's a good unit, and that's one of my units that is fully painted, and she looked great on the table killing. So I was very happy about that. Also, the other little thing I'm using is I put I'm going to be terrible with these names because I'm just super not familiar with the army yet. But there's a character you can stick with a unit that basically transform that unit into a 2+, 4+ influence save.
Flabbity Limbloom.
Sure.
Flabbity Lomblom.
It's driving me nuts that I can't remember it. But man, I mean, it was a fun game. The Blood Angels and Sisters fought against the Tau and Votan, and we wrecked shop. We wrecked shop. Jamie didn't get aggressive enough with his stuff. He needed to get it out and more effective, and we just tore the poor Votan to pieces. And then finally, Jamie stepped out, destroyed 2 of my vehicles, and then we just started slaughtering him by that point because there was almost no Votan left on the table, and we called it in like round 4. But it was fun.
Now you have a target to paint your 1,000 points.
That's exactly right. And I think that will kickstart me into the Hobby Progress Challenge. So,
nice.
Okay. Blake, playing a game?
Games that I played.
I doubt you played any GW games. Did you play a miniatures game?
No.
Not Last Argument of Kings?
No, I mean, since before my surgery, I played before my surgery, but that was like weeks ago.
You did. You did just come out of surgery.
Yeah, most of the games I've been playing lately are Last Argument of Kings.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say, like, I beat Avowed on the Xbox. I've been playing some Cyberpunk.
The video
games. Yeah. The video game, right?
It's a good one.
Not the miniatures game.
All right.
But no, not really nothing lately.
All right. Travis, what have you been playing? I saw that you played some game.
Yeah, there is a crusade that Ed and myself have been participating in with a group of guys that I know down in Orange County. We've been trying to get together once a month, and they actually came up here to Temecula, and we had the final 1,000-point battle of the league. So we're going to be going into the 2,000-point chunk of.
You're doing
a
1,000 point to then 2,000 points. Is it like 1,500 to then 2,000? Like
no, we went 1,000 to 2,000,
Okay.
and then we're going to do 3 games at 3,000.
3,000 points. That's a long game.
It's a longer crusade than I probably would have signed up for, but I'm just as an observer. I'm just here playing games. My game was against Voton, and I've had such a hard time against Voton.
Are they
especially at 1,000 points?
Is this the new codex Voton?
No, this was still with the old codex.
They lost their grudge tokens.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they don't have grudge tokens now. They have like this other thing where they're on one of the. I think the way the army's intended to play now is as it's on
argument
objectives.
points.
Yeah,
Argument points.
It's not argument points, but it's
No, I'm
something
just making
close.
things up.
It's something like that. It's literally
Wow.
You're very close, but basically they once they're on objectives, like they become way more durable, like more defendable. Like they kind of dig in and like they have these points they gain as they're on objectives that makes them more resilient to being pushed off of objectives and that kind of stuff. So Aaron did it completely wrong. So that's why we just rolled over him. But I think he learned a lot from that game. But so they are significantly changed, Travis. Those grudge tokens were brutal.
Yeah, and they have a Land Raider equivalent that, in my opinion, has a better output. Like their version of the Land Raider has just steamrolled my whole army
Can they assault
at 1,000 points.
Can they assault
no, because they don't need to, because it could shoot every one of my units off the table every
you
turn.
just destroy that thing. See, you know what you need is a Land Raider with las cannons to take that thing out.
Yeah,
Classic Land Raider.
Yeah. So I'm actually really excited to get into the 2,000 point range because my army is tooled up much better at a 2,000 point. I
think 1,000 points is a weak spot for 40K, to be honest with you.
I don't personally like that level. It's missing, a lot of the toys that you're able to play with. But so we also did a team game.
Was this at your
really
house?
Fun. This was at my house.
Okay.
Yeah. So we put 2 tables together and we put like 3,000 points on each side, and we had a what's it called when you're inside the corridors in the middle of the table?
Boarding action.
We had a boarding action going on, and there was an NPC Thousand Sun army inside the bunker.
Okay.
And there was like a town. It was wild. I was actually the Necron guy, couldn't make it, and so I put my Necrons on one side of the table and my Space Wolves on the other side, and I was playing both sides of the table. And it was actually really, really fun.
Ed, you played in that, right?
Yeah, I think watching Travis play against himself was some of the most entertaining, because he would say, "All right, I'm going to hit you on a 3+," and then he'd turn around and be like, "Oh, a 3+, okay, go ahead." And then he would say, "All right, how many wounds is that? Okay, that's 3 wounds. Okay, here we go."
Well,
and then
bring these guys back. Oh, I hate Necrons.
Yeah. Yes. And then, but so these games we've been playing in this crusade, I guess I'm learning a lot also because I joined up to play 40K, right? Because I wasn't playing very much. And these guys are very competitive.
Yeah.
Their terrain and everything that I've seen, their list building is very competitive. So it's been challenging. But when we played this team game,
but you're a strong player. Like in the past, you were I wouldn't say you were tournament focused, but you were like, you're not a.
No, they were pretty competitive.
Yeah, you make good.
I make
better choices than me.
I make good choices, and the game that I had, I was playing 1,000 points, and I brought a Stampa because my orcs were just not. When I fielded a bunch of orcs, I would lose almost every unit, even if I win the game,
right,
or tie the game,
right.
So, I still can kind of grasp how to score points, right? Mm-hmm. But in this game, there was a lot of more talking, more interaction with everybody.
Team game.
I feel like I really like team games in general.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up though, because Ed, I knew you had talked before and you were saying, I'm not really like, this isn't vibing with me. I'm not enjoying it. And then I saw you post about playing it, Travis. You were like, I think this is the most fun I've had.
Yeah. I think even the demeanor of the players we were playing with was different. There was a lot more communicating between, more talking, more joking, a lot more joking, I would think.
Was this,
I felt,
even in the one-on-one games or just the team game?
I think more in the team game, because we played the one-on-one games first.
Yeah.
And then the team game was second the same day.
So you think it was more a matter of it being a team kind of community involved thing as opposed to a different venue?
But also the mission there was a Warlord Titan or a Warhound Titan in the middle of the table.
Okay.
And that was a NPC. So both teams were both fighting it. So there was also some communication, some strategy in between our opposing teams, like, how are we going to kill this? All right, we softened it up, you finish it off type.
It's kind of cool
conversation. So,
well, you know what? It's also that's the same experience I had when we did Old World in the Desert. The one-on-one games, not super enjoyable because you want to win. But as soon as we went this was with Tom and Josh and Dr. John and you two, as soon as we went to the big castle game,
this is
with
Warhammer
the Siege, Old World, as soon as we did that, it didn't matter anymore. Oh, my unit of knights is getting charged, which in a real game, that's doom. That's you've lost the game. Your charging unit got charged. But when it happened in the castle game, it was just like, all right, cool, let's see what happens.
You kind of laugh about it, right? It kind of relieves the pressure of win or lose. It's more just about rolling dice and having fun and laughing at the situation.
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
So there is elements to the team games do. And me and Ed played a team game versus Adon.
Yeah.
And even though Adon's army was like deleting things, it still didn't feel as bad as being by yourself and having that happen.
You're kind of sharing the
and also you can look to the other person to be like, I don't know, man, what do you think we can do here?
Yeah.
So you're not alone. Yeah. There's a sharing. So anyways, I'm with you on that, Ed.
Yeah. I do enjoy a good team game from time to time for sure. Like the game we played, the one I was talking about, was a lot of fun, and even though like we ended up kind of steamrolling those two, like I don't think they had feel bads about it. They were just like, oh, finally when Jamie came out and like destroyed two of my vehicles in one go, I was like, uh-oh. And then I'm like, where were you a turn ago? Like you should have been out here like shooting the stuff. He's like, I didn't know. And so, I mean, again, his third or fourth game. I mean, how's he going to know that? The only way you do is and I'd go over there and help him. What I think you should look at is maybe this or that, So not that I'm the best coach at 40K in the world, but I think when it's like more of a collaboration, it becomes really, really interesting. I think Travis would probably agree with that in the games that Travis and I have been playing in our little narrative arc. Like it's more of a collaboration type thing than a, victory. I mean, I still want to win. I'm not saying that, but
I still like killing other units.
Yeah, of course.
But there's just I get just the goal of the game
changes.
Yeah.
That's a good call. All right. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to take a short break. We will come right back, and then we're going to launch into our main topic, and we'll go over our first three choices. Each of us will go over our first three choices. So we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. And now we're going to open our soda.
I had some pizza too. I was going to just
no.
Anyways.
No, don't do that. All right. Anyway, listen, we're back. We're going to launch into our top 5 supplements. We're going to start with number 5. This go around. We'll talk about what it is, why you chose it, why it's your number 5, what impact it had on you or you think on Warhammer 40K. And we're going to start with Blake.
Okay, here we go.
I cannot wait.
I'm going to say my number 5 is White Dwarf.
As a whole. Oh,
as a whole.
That's actually
bold.
That is
choice.
a very Interesting strategy, Cotton.
White Dwarf.
I did not even consider that. And that
Okay, let's break it down.
Why?
First off, I was thinking about what publications and what materials that Games Workshop has released that I've gotten the most enjoyment out of. And as a youngin', seeing all the dioramas and all the models, studying it, being inspired by it, White Dwarf actually makes a pretty big impact on me. Maybe outside the rule, maybe not necessarily like rule sets, but over time, White Dwarf's been around a long time. It's changed and had visions and all sorts of adumbrations.
It's released rules for different ways of playing, like Spearhead, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Blake, this is a strong argument, man.
So then I was like, okay, what about recently? Because I haven't really, but the recent White Dwarfs I have are one that had rules for solo Age of Sigmar during COVID. The last one I looked at was the one with the Arminger combat patrol, and me and Ed really dug inside that. And also, I guess now they have like every White Dwarf has a mission.
Yep.
A 40K mission.
Yeah, and I love them.
So I think there's something to the White Dwarf.
Blake, I am fully on board with this as a choice. My counter to this is I am floored that this is your number 5, because I can't imagine that you just made White Dwarf a supplement. That is a contender for number 1.
I actually agree with Travis. That is a really good rationale.
To bring it to the table and then put it to number 5, I can't wait to see what 4, 3, 2, and 1. Because you have 4 other publications that are more impactful on how I play 40K than White Dwarf. Well, I can't wait.
Well, personally, I don't play those missions that come out.
I'm telling you.
Okay. I haven't done the Armingers. So in terms of impacting me in play, not as big, but impacting my 40K in my hobby world, it's still pretty big.
But for me, 30 years of hobby, I remember the Warp Spiders first came out in White Dwarf.
Oh, they did.
And that was the first time I ever beat Gene Stealers on the table. I killed the Gene Stealers before they killed me because my Warp Spiders. And then I remember my friend who played the Gene Stealers got really mad. This is bullshine, you know?
Welcome to 40K.
Oh, that's a great choice. Oh, man.
Fantastic.
Number 5.
I think, if I would have even thought of White Dwarf,
I agree.
It'd probably be my number 1 spot. But
I will
we'll see what
happens. It is not in my list. Whoa.
I think
Blake
it would have been my number 2.
Strong, dude.
I think
he wrote his own rules.
That was a good. Well done, sir. Well done. Okay. Wow. That is. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's 30
guys,
years.
Can't take the heat. Get out of the boiler room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or whatever. What is
that? Was
like
what
that?
we used to say. Oh man, that is a strong. That is a really. I'm impressed. I'm going to
light up the cover safe.
That was great.
Thank you.
Good. All right. All right. Well done.
I don't think we need to continue this.
Yeah. I'm spent.
Do you know what? I'm ready to continue.
All right. Well, let's go to Travis. Travis, what is your number 5?
So my number 5,
Battlefleet Gothic, the magazine.
Mine is Cities of Death, specifically the 3rd edition, which I think was the first time. Oh no. Well, I'm not 100% sure.
There were 2.
Yeah.
But there was one that came out in like 4th
Cities
edition.
of Death was that's the one that I played the most of. It was in 4th, and then it carried over into 5th. I remember like us playing it in 5th, I think. This is not one that I ever played like at my home games because I didn't have enough terrain. But luckily, like the shops I was playing at had the right amount of terrain, and I was playing Tyranids at the time, and I found a lot of enjoyment of there was things where the tanks weren't as much of a problem.
They couldn't really move through very well.
Yeah, so it helped me as a Tyranid player because I'm just like putting all these Griblies down corridors and popping underneath. And they did this really cool thing with like stratagem cards. I seem to remember where you could like pop out of like a manhole on the other side. And so I remember fondly some really fun games using the Cities of Death.
I think that is another strong argument. Cities of Death kind of changed the way we played the game. I mean, at that point, we too didn't have a whole lot of terrain, and we struggled to. I don't even think the modular 40K terrain had come out yet. The Sector Imperialis stuff had not quite come out yet.
No, not really.
I think it came out as a result of the popularity of Cities of Death. And then
I would agree.
I still have unassembled boxes of that stuff, which could sell for a ton, but I'm building a very specific thing with them. But Cities of Death was awesome in terms of, I think you got advantage for being at different heights, and there were like traps and mines you could set in the thing. And I remember the rules specifically around the terrain placement. Like terrain had to be like 3 to 5 inches from each other. Like it was a packed table when you finally got it all together. And you're absolutely right. Like vehicles suddenly ceased to be a big factor, and it became much more about like dreadnoughts and like infantry stuff.
Walkers.
Yeah. It was such a fantastic supplement. It really shaped me so much that now when I see tournaments and they're always in L-shaped ruins of cities, I'm like, sure, they're in ruined cities, but that's not Cities of Death. Cities of Death was a whole other ball game. I really enjoyed that.
Had just such a great vibe, and it felt so 40K. It really just looked fantastic and felt fantastic.
And it was a soft cover splat book that, but I mean, even the pictures and art in it were very evocative, I thought.
Were all of these cities Imperial cities? Did they ever have an example of like other Xenos cities?
They did not. They only ever showed Imperial cities
at that time.
I think
nowadays, you could pull it off.
You could 3D print a lot of that stuff. Yeah, it'd be the same. But I mean, you could use those same rules. Now you probably couldn't. But
a City is Death on an Eldar craft world.
Yeah, I'm saying there's ways you can pull it out and even make it bigger now with other factions. And
it had me. It's a great point, Blake, because it had me looking at other ways of building like Xenos cities and building like, to your point, a craft world, Travis. At one point, I remember looking at like, how do we build this? Like I had the how to build any terrain book, and I was like trying to figure out like, how could we, like I was looking at like frisbees and anything that was kind of roundish to be could we turn this into some kind of Eldar structure? And this is where I've talked about this before. Like some people have a real eye for looking at something big and then going, oh, at a small scale, this could be like this, like computer fans for things in Necromunda and stuff like that. I don't have that eye really. So
now we can just 3D print it.
Now you can just 3D print it, just like we did with all that Mordheim terrain. Made Mordheim more accessible.
Yeah,
for sure. Ed, you got any points you want to make on that, or any?
Just visually, the Cities of Death book, like the sample buildings and the art from the picture, just it did make you want to have a fuller table in 40K because usually it was kind of like fantasy where you have like a little building here, a hill here, something, a little sporadic,
maybe like a little forest.
Battlefield was wide open, and then you made it more realistic, especially for the industrial area.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And Tyranids, you're right, Travis. Tyranids would fare very well in those. Because the absolute fear of Tyranids was going across planet bowling ball or the open field where they were just going to get blown off the table before they got to do anything. So, all right. Another strong choice. Ed, what is your number 5?
All right. So, for me, growing up, I was a fan of anime. And I was particularly interested in like big robots, Transformers, Gundam, Robotech, that type of art style. So when I saw the Tau come out, I was very excited. So for me, the 3rd edition Tau Codex was very important for me because
is that the first Tau Codex? Was 3rd edition?
3rd edition.
Okay.
3rd edition. And so that's my first supplemental pick because it was their debut codex. And I think Tau are an important part. They fit in their own way. And I feel like they're an important part of the 40K universe. So my pick is a Tau codex.
It's an interesting pick as well. And when you guys were asking about, do codexes qualify for this? I was like, it can be whatever you want as long as it had an impact. I agree. It also changed the face of 40K a little bit, and it was obviously GW trying to tap into that market you just talked about, and especially appeal to probably more Japanese players and that kind of thing, because they had stores in Japan, and obviously these are very popular in Japan as well. And it was growing in the US and UK. So, and I mean, it's interesting. Every time they introduce a new army, it kind of meets with a bit of resistance, even though people say they want new armies.
Yeah.
I think what I do think is that they approach the lore of new armies with a ton of respect. And so like the Tau actually have like a really, really deep, rich, like people often call, they're space communists or fish communists. They're not.
So
like it's actually, but if you read the lore, like it is well thought out. It is well structured. I think they look cool as aliens. Like I think in general, like I think it's a strong argument too. It did change the face of 40K at that time. And to this point, I still have PTSD about fighting Tau because they always shoot me off the table at range. That's why I like to fight them in cities of death where they can't see me.
Yeah.
But I think it's a strong pick as well. I had another.
It was a
point.
pivotal point in the army design, and I think it was showing them going a different direction. And while I've rarely enjoyed a game against Tau, that's my own journey that I have to have. But I do think that they are a beautiful army, and I was one of those ones that maybe was resistant to that aesthetic in 40K
initially
for a while, but I'm fully on board.
They've kind of made it their thing now, though.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I know the other point I was going to make wasn't specific to Tau, but it was more about the lore of bringing in new armies. Like the lore for the Leagues of Votan is just phenomenally good. And it wasn't until we did a show of force about the Eldar, or Aldari as they're now called, that I really appreciated like how much care and attention like that backstory gets for each of these factions that they introduce, because the Eldar one is like written 30 years ago, but like now it's just, it's still like so good. It's so well thought out. And I think they all are, to be honest with you. So anyway, that's my take on it. Anything to add about the Tau B&B?
No, I think you guys hit all the nails on the heads. It was a genre defining moment. It was exciting at the moment, because I remember when they brought in the Necrons and the Tau. I don't know which one was first. Probably the Necrons.
Yeah.
But that was a big moment in the game where new armies were coming in. Right?
I mean, the Necrons are clearly inspired from Terminator, right?
Yes.
And this is why Aaron likes them so much.
But you guys hit it. It's a good choice.
All right. My number 5 is Planetary Empires. The box set that contained the Hex map building apparatus for campaigns, for map-based campaigns. I think the rules were a little bit on the lacking side. It felt like a first draft, to be honest with you, but the tiles for the map campaign were amazing. And additionally, I think ultimately, like, we all like the idea of playing a map campaign. I don't know anybody who really actually doesn't like the idea of it. Getting the rules to work for it to work well is another matter. But this inspired a ton of 3D printing options that you can go 3D print out hex map terrain pieces. We have somebody that just recently on our Discord shared a picture of a map terrain that he 3D printed out that is now, and they were all hex stuff that he painted to look like a hologram. So it's like supposed to be like a hologram
Cool.
they're looking at. And this kit worked with the Mighty Empires fantasy version of this as well. So if you have both those, you can actually piece them together and get a wider variety of terrain involved in those as well. So I have 2 boxes of both, by the way, and only 1 box fully painted. But someday I really want to run something with those. And actually, I mean, to that point, I printed out a Planetary Empires tile that is a hive city that
Yeah.
you can add to. I printed a couple of those out, and it looks fantastic. So for me, when I saw this, I was like, I have to have that. We tried one campaign of it, didn't quite work very well. But someday I'm going to get back to it. The idea is there, and it just resonates with me on a campaign level.
I'm hearing Planetary Assault Geekend.
Yeah, see, if you could, you know what? I mean, if you could do
We're
it in
all
3
trapped in
days,
the house for like 3 days.
3 days
Yeah.
of games, like I think that's much like our Mordheim weekend.
Yeah.
Like I think you need to do the campaign in like rapid bites.
You gotta go You gotta go smaller. You can't go 2,000. I think you go
I
1,500.
think you're right,
Not 1,000 though. 1,500.
but your 1,500
Even
games will go
1250.
fast.
Even 1250 gives you a little
Gives you
extra.
1,000 points plus a Land Raider.
Yeah, perfect.
That's all you need.
The Planetary Empires. I'm not going to give my number on that one until it comes time.
Oh, okay.
But it was exciting because the tiles. Come on now,
They're great.
tiles. And I think it was far more like the potential of what could happen was
Yes.
huge, and that generated a lot of excitement. I don't think at the time the rules. I don't remember the rules being bad
They
or
weren't
or
bad.
good.
They worked, but they weren't
then
great.
but then again, I don't think I was as critical of it then, and there was nothing really like it.
Yeah.
Like structured. Like you could go on the old internet and find things that did it the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. They had like a Mordheim map based thing similarly.
Yeah.
And like the potential of what this could be, like turning your games into something, a physical representation of what's actually happening, like on the board. And I remember there was the battle bunker in the LA battle bunker in Orange County had a huge Planetary Empires board going.
It was like
And
it was like mounted on a board. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that. That was awesome.
So like, yeah, this is a good pick for me personally as well.
Yeah.
I just don't know how much play I got into it, but the inspiration has never left.
I think you nailed it when you said the potential. The potential is it opened my eyes to a whole.
And then seeing the 3D. I mean, these days, do they even sell Planetary Empires?
No, it hasn't been sold.
Yeah,
for
you just
years.
got to get it all. Just have to print it all now.
I watched the entirety of the series Fringe while I painted that.
Good series.
It was fantastic. So that's my that's my number 5.
That's also a different painting challenge for some people, right?
To watch Fringe?
No.
Oh, okay.
The tiles.
Yes, because it's a smaller scale.
Well, what scale is that?
1/1000.
1/millionth. Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a different hobby challenge as well.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
And Fringe. Yeah.
And Fringe. Ed, any thoughts there? You good?
I think the idea of it was very cool. Like when you go in and you saw, 4 people are playing Risk, you can look at the Risk map and be like, all right, blue's really kicking butt here. Right. It looks like these other guys are. Red's only has 1 unit left and they're gone. So you can just look at a state with all the little flags and be like, okay, looks like Tyranids are really kicking butt on this planet. Yeah. So I'm really worried about this Space Marine. Just to be able to visually look at something and just know what's going on, it's kind of cool.
The only other problem is those flags broke a lot.
Well, 3D print, baby.
3D print them.
Make them out of toothpicks.
I was thinking like you could even do this if it's a bigger event, like a weekender or whatever, you can have like teams.
Yeah. Oh,
so like,
yeah, you can have 2 or 3 teams, and so then the flags just represent this team. That's actually a really good suggestion.
That way you can have multiple outgrowths. Normally, if it's just me, I'm red.
Yeah,
I'm only doing 1 little hex at a time.
I think you would need to do teams. I think you're absolutely right.
And you could match make and do narrative pairings.
Xenos, Imperium, and Chaos.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
I love it. I'm in.
Yeah. All right, we got to plan this.
Yeah, but I agree with everything. Probably the only reason this doesn't show up on my list is I have literally zero interaction with this other than thinking it's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But never played
Me
it.
and Ed had a box.
Never, never read the rules for it. So, but yeah, great
Like I
looking
said, I have
little miniatures.
2 Planetary Empires and 2 Mighty Empires boxes. They can provide the boxes. We'll figure something out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to number 4. And let's just keep the train rolling with the same rotation. So,
Yeah.
Big Nasty Blake, you're up.
The 5th edition NID Codex.
Oh, okay.
Now, the reason why I distinctly remember the moment. Yeah, there you go. It's not that one though.
No,
it
this
wasn't
is the
that
second
one.
edition.
This was the one where they brought in the Trigun and the Moloch, that model that would shoot up out of the ground, and it was like the bigger guy that curls up. Now I didn't have this codex. Our buddy Matt had it, Matt Topless, and he had a great like desert scheme that he painted.
That's awesome.
For his guys, like browns and tans on his Tyranids. And I remember I was the first person he played with the model and I immediately out the gate, like the first interaction that we had, I'm like, oh, did they not try this? Did they not play test this? Because we immediately had questions.
Why has my whole unit been swallowed?
No, it wasn't even that. It was just like wordings were weird, and it was like, who knows? But regardless, what I liked, that was like kind of a hallmark moment in my head because it was basically like artillery.
Yeah.
It was like an artillery model that would be on the board. Like normally artillery, it interacts with stuff further away. But this one, it did its big blast, and now it's close combat. And then there's like, things can come through it. Like, so it was like, it was an interesting design space that really made me excited. And that's probably one of the reasons that I really started to like Tyranids around that time.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that was the one that released that model.
That model, specifically the Trigon model, is what brought me back to 40K after a pretty long break. I didn't
model.
play a lot of 4th. It was a time in my life where I just, I was in bands, I was, searching for myself, and just, 40K just wasn't in that zeitgeist there. But I saw that model and it brought me back because I already had like a bunch of Tyranids that I hadn't really put together or painted. They were just in boxes, and I bought that model and I found a store and I started playing 5th edition, and I was back in, baby.
Amen.
So in many ways, that 5th edition Tyranid Codex brought me back to 40K. So not on my list, but strong.
Okay.
Strong choice.
Okay, so this 5th edition codex, I remember there was a big thing, what was it? I can't even think of the word. A hubbub, or people were really
a hullabaloo.
A hullabaloo when this Doom of Malankai or Malantine.
Oh,
yeah. Doom of Malankai.
Because
Yeah. Oh,
it
that
would
was
like
powerful.
It was so big. It was so huge. Like, and it could hit things. And we're like, can it hit things inside vehicles? Can it not?
Let's be clear. The arguments about it and the worry about it was huge. The model itself was actually first one didn't exist.
Small.
It didn't exist, and then when it did, it was very small.
I think that goes hand in hand with. Did they have anybody else read these rules? Which sometimes is a real thing. Mm-hmm. Any of these miniature companies.
Yeah,
not everybody's getting their eyeballs on them. Anyway,
it caused half your army to have to take like psychic tests, and people would just run away or die.
But I do remember it would deep strike down.
Yes.
And then when it deep struck, like it had an aura around it, and the aura would cause like wounds to everything around it in like phases that were not normally causing wounds. And so you had to shoot it from far to get rid of it. But man, I forgot about the Doom of Malantai. They've gotten rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I got to tell you, the Trigon like is a strong model, man. I cannot tell. It was a Forge World model before it came out in plastic. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I cannot tell you how many times I had it in my cart at Forge World, and I was like, do I really want to spend $170 on this model? Man, it was my favorite Tyrannid model when it was just a Forge World model. So when it came out in plastic, I bought it that day that it released at the Games Workshop at our Oak Ridge Mall near us, and they were having a painting contest, and if you brought back the Trigon or Malak the next day, painted, they would, or it was like you had the weekend to paint it. I brought mine back the next day painted. It was the first time I bought a model, brought it home, assembled it, and painted it that night, and then brought it in the next morning, and then I learned about how they had people vote for what the best model was, and how some guys just brought in a bunch of their friends and like a model that was like nowhere. Not that mine was like Golden Demon winning or anything, but it was a good looking model, and how like it got completely outvoted by this guy with his friends. I was like, I'm never participating in one of these again. But man, I love that model. I have like 3 of them still. It's a fantastic model. And I also had a moment where, and Josh and I have talked about this a lot, where we just watched Blake sneeze, but like quickly mute his microphone. But where Josh and I
was going to make a point too.
Josh and I have talked about this, where he was playing his salamanders against my Tyranids, and I had the Malak basically come under a unit of his Stern Guard, devour the whole unit in one go. It was awesome.
Oh, it's funny. So you didn't want to pay $160 from Forge World for that model?
This was a different.
But you know what? How much do you pay for it in plastic now?
You know how much that model would have cost in plastic back then?
Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like $60, 55.
I think it was like 45. To tell you the truth.
Wait till I get to my number 4.
It just gave me a giggle.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's a good call out.
Was that a Matt Ward book too as well?
I have no clue. At that time, they were actually. So for those who don't know, at the time, they would actually name and give credit to the designer of the codex in the codex. It was the 5th edition Space Marine Codex, where they stopped that after that because Matt Ward got so much grief about that codex and about Ultramarines that finally, and so much hate levied at him, that they were just like, we can't do this.
Phil Kelly, maybe Phil. It doesn't matter, but it made me think like, that's what. Was this when they were naming the designers and stuff?
Well, don't worry. In 6th edition, they got theirs, and in 6th and 7th edition, Tyranids were worthless to play. So,
poo.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to.
I think I'm up.
Blake, or excuse me, Travis. Yeah.
My number 4 is Stronghold Assault, a supplement for Warhammer 6th edition.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, I feel like this supplement kind of defined that edition for me personally. I thought I got a lot of use out of this supplement, because it had basically what it was is it had points and rules for all of the like fortifications that they had come out.
Okay.
And they came out with some.
And I think it had
ones.
some missions in it too, right?
Yes, and some missions that were very good too. But it was really just like being able to play with the Bastion and the Aegis defense line, like all these like cool little models that we had. It made the game really interesting to me, and I really enjoyed 6th edition for what it was, and used the heck out of this.
I think this is going to be our first argument.
Yeah, okay.
I feel
let's get into it.
I feel like at that time, this is the 6th, 7th edition. The 7th edition was kind of an iteration on 6th, really. So
it was just a 6.5.
Kind of call them the same thing. It cleaned up some of the 6th stuff. 6th didn't last actually very long. I think that this was endemic of the problems that 7th edition gained, which was I have to bring 8 books to a table to play this game now, and Stronghold Assault was one of those books. And I felt like it was of the expansions, probably what it did was gather those rules, because those rules were actually available for like the Bastion, I think, in like Planet Strike. And then and then I think what it did was gather those together, provide some missions for like, here's what like an assault against a fortification would kind of look like. And I actually felt it was, for me, one of the weaker of their releases. And I think it was even towards the end of their kind of release cycle of that, before the big cleanup of from 7th to 8th. Like it was just becoming too much at that point. And so for me, like, I bought it. We looked at it. I don't think I ever played a game of it or any of the missions in that book. So I was actually very disappointed in that book. So we're gonna have a disagreement.
Oh,
Wow.
Well, but you know what, Carl? Maybe you missed out because the missions were pretty fun.
You know, I still have the book.
They're pretty good.
So
Let's do one.
We could make it a
planetary
10th
weekend.
edition planetary empire.
You have all the models too. Yeah.
We'll each bring 20 books.
It's getting better and better.
Can't wait.
Remember, keep it simple, guys. You have to keep it down to 12 books.
At first, I didn't know what the book was when you said it. But then once you started to describe it, I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember, like, what fortification are you bringing? And also, because I kind of like that, the idea of you're bringing in stuff to the army that isn't troops.
Right.
Like you're bringing in terrain.
Right.
As part of your army, which is interesting.
I think you paid points for it. Yes.
Yeah, you did.
It created the double Bastion list joke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just
double
recently we were
Bastion of Redeemer or something.
Yeah, double Imperial.
Fortress of Redemption. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Double.
Yeah, 220 points.
I have it.
So for 480, you can have 2 Fortresses of Redemptions. Listen, Carl, you know, I'm not going to disagree that it made some things really ridiculous. But, you know, was it impactful? Yes. And is it a supplement that I at least did actually play and use? Also true. And also, it's just my number 4, you know?
Fair enough.
And I would also speak to the fact that this is when third-party sculptors were able to make a run, because there was no Orc Bastion.
Exactly.
There wasn't a
Tau Bastion.
There wasn't a an Eldar barricade.
Yeah.
And so this allowed people to artists to create things
to steal money out of GW's pocket.
I mean, hey,
No.
GW printed it. They could.
I know. They could have.
you know, I remember, Ed, you had one of the Orc barricades, right?
It's called the Aegis Defense Line.
Yeah.
Aegis
Is
Defense
what we'll
Line.
call it.
Mr. Dandy
And-
from wargamma.com
Yes. Yep.
probably made some good money making those.
Oh yeah.
Different
I
Tyranid
bet.
one, Chaos one, Orc one.
Yeah.
They were awesome.
So I remember this time in the games, and I remember, people would always either the Aegis Defense Line was, maybe it's not the Aegis Defense Line. That's actually something else.
That's right.
It was
No, it is. I think
That
it
was the
is.
most. Yeah, I'm
okay.
looking at the book right now. The PDF.
So that one was like the cheapest one. It was only like
Yes.
75 points.
Yeah,
50
And
points.
Yeah, 50.
50 points. So almost everybody had one of those
With a gun.
and with either the gun or there was like a relay.
There
or
was
something.
an Icarus las cannon or the quad gun.
That's
I
right.
usually took the quad gun
That's right.
Oh,
because it had Skyfire. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
It led to some funny situations where it's like, I kill your guys on it. Can I now shoot your quad gun?
yes, and you could.
Yeah. And technically you could. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember the Sky Shield landing pad.
Yeah.
People were putting knights in it and they were blocking line of
Getting
sight.
like a 4+ invulnerable
save, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
I do. And I remember like they would deploy that landing pad and put a bunch of tanks on the landing pad.
And all they had to do was put the fins up.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, look, I still use some of the terrain from it.
You
Absolutely.
see, I feel like you're describing problems in a player base, not problems with this supplement.
Well, I think part of the problem is, well, maybe it's not part of the problem. I think GW released a supplement to sell more of these things.
Of course.
So-
Of course they did.
Of course they did. So, yeah, they make things good, and then people buy them. So it's not really. I mean, it's both their problems. I think
It is interesting looking at this, how many fortifications in here they never had a model for until like maybe a few years ago. Like the Void Relay Network, the Void Shield Generator. I remember Void Shield Generators finally popping
They were a
up kind of recently.
Yeah,
But
they would
people
sell out
yeah,
relatively quickly too.
yeah. Promethean relay pipes. I have some of those.
I have those too. Yeah, I mean, it did provide rules for a bunch of the terrain, and it was interesting how people quickly exploit those things. You know?
Yeah,
and again, you're
absolutely.
describing the community versus the
Nasty
supplement.
neckbeards.
So. All right,
Nasty people.
Ed, what is your
okay.
number 4?
My number 4 is Carl's number 5, and that is Planetary Empires.
Nice.
So I feel like, yeah, it made an impact on me, and I've always wanted to play it. So let's set it up.
All right.
That's
All right.
it.
We're gonna. I like the idea of.
$12.50.
I like the idea of the weekend, or 2 or 3 day weekend. You know, pulling that out. I think that's a fantastic idea.
You know, 1,000 points can work with some comp. I think you need to comp some of the armies.
Yeah, exactly. We need to look.
As
Ed, you can't bring the
comp
stop.
possible. As little a comp as possible.
All right, 1,500.
That's what I say.
1,500 is what I say. I say
Well,
you
then
go
1,500.
1,500. Okay.
Then you don't need
What
comp.
about-
And you do teams, like we said. Like we have to plan it in advance and be like, okay, we
know what everyone's
we need to
army
balance the
needs, yeah.
teams out. Who's
Yeah.
gonna, and we got enough armies. We can do it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that's me then for my number 4. My number 4
Yes.
is the 2007 release of Apocalypse. And
Okay.
here's why. Number 1, the book was huge. Like they literally made the book bigger because they were trying to be like, it's so big, you need a bigger book.
What a gimmick. What a marketing gimmick.
The pictures in it were fantastic. The like stories they told in the book of the games of Apocalypse they were playing and the pictures they showed were so evocative and so inspiring. And the rules were pretty decent for it. But the kicker was it generated sales of kits that were massively reduced pricing. So like you could buy 3 Vindicators for like, I don't remember what it was, $110 or whatever, or $90 or whatever the price, whatever those prices were. It was like you pretty much got an extra model in every kit you were buying. Like we would split those up. We'd be like, well, I only need, 1 Vindicator. Well, I need one and I need one. Oh, let's go. We all go in, we buy it, or I remember buying boxes like 2 Land Raiders. They had like the entire Space Marine Battle Company at the time. It was like $1,000 to buy the thing, which in hindsight, at the time I was like, oh, who's going to spend that amount of money on this game? No. But man, the hype around it at the time and the hype around not just Apocalypse games, which we did play some and had a ton of fun with, the hype around the deals we could get on models was just out of this world. I don't think we'll ever see it
Different
again.
age. Different age.
If we could
you
have
do see
bought,
You do see it if you go to Parabellum Games. It's a conquest joke. Their big army things have a lot of savings.
Well, you do get a lot of
just-
savings actually in the like army sets you buy these days. Like they are worth like a good save. But
Yes,
this
they are.
was like 3
Totally
Vindicators, a box of 4 Rhinos. It was like, oh my God. Yes, I don't need 4 Rhinos, but I could use 3. Does anybody else need 1? I need 1. Okay.
Heck yeah.
Oh man, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Sorry, Travis. You go now.
well, I think my joke was better, but now the timing's off on it.
darn it.
So we're just going to move on.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
So yeah, Apocalypse.
I win.
We played a lot of it. Unfortunately, the re-release of Apocalypse with the rules that were closer like Epic, I think it kind of bombed. honestly. Like, I was very excited about it, but I think the reality is most people don't have the time, space, or number of models to play an Apocalypse game. And so I think it'll remain an unfulfilled dream for many years.
Yeah, I never did play Apocalypse. That's why it doesn't show up on my list. And it's funny, now I could. I actually have the model accounts. It took me 30 years, but now I do have enough models to play Apocalypse. But I don't have any desire to ever do that.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just basically giant team games, and there are rules for
That's true.
games.
In a way, we do it already.
Yeah.
Mega templates. When did the big
templates, dude? That was
templates
Apocalypse.
were cool.
2006?
That was Apocalypse. You had like the almost record-sized blast template.
Was that 2006?
That was 2007.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was a release similar to your pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was all
Yeah.
part of that. That was all part of the Apocalypse expansion. You had huge flamer templates and like huge bombing run templates that would like
Those were awesome.
bend and,
Yeah.
it was incredible.
Yeah, the articulating templates.
Yeah. So
Yep.
every time you'd lay it down, you'd be laughing because you're like, this is so ridiculous, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
We ready to move on?
I think we're at number 3
We're
now.
at number 3. Number 3 will close out this part of the show. So let's start again with Blake for number 3.
Okay. Back in the day, Warhammer was all boots on the ground and tank tracks moving. Everything was on the ground. But then it was probably 6th edition. All of a sudden they're like, well, how come we can't have planes in our games? So I picked Death from the Skies as number 3. And I guess to add context to it, was this the edition where they were releasing tons of supplements, including the fortification one?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't
Okay.
remember which one came out first, but I think it was Death from the Skies,
I think so
then
too.
Fortifications.
I think so.
So I would say this, another reason this hits for me is because it was my most active era.
Okay.
And the Storm Raven gunship, and I had models that could be used in it. And then like the Skyfire, like
Yeah, they've legends of a bunch of those models now. You're talking about it was like the tank with like the turret on it that could fire against aircraft and stuff.
I think he's just talking about the rule Skyfire.
the rule
sorry.
Skyfire. Because that now you can shoot at ballistic skill, I believe.
Because remember,
Things
you could
Right,
only
That's right.
six
only hit flyers on
On
sixes.
But then, you're right. I forgot about that.
and now it's all
Skyfire,
integrated. Now it's all integrated, and it's probably better this way, right? No.
Not for flyers.
Nobody.
I really liked flyers when this came out. Like I had the Eldar flyer. It was really fun to use. Those Chaos Dragons were terrifying, but fun to play against.
It was the AP of the breath weapon that they had that really did good.
Yeah. Really what breaks my heart is in 10th edition flyers, to have the flyer aircraft keyword means that the model costs twice as much as it should, and it does half as much on the table that it should. I'm really, really sad on the current state of aircraft in 40K. But you know what? You're right. In 6th edition, it was fantastic. I loved it. So I'm with you, but it makes me sad because I do love flyers. I have a lot of them and they just don't. They don't work.
Also, I think this supplement created a bunch of flyer versus flyer battles. Like I think there were like missions for specifically because flyers were coming out. They were coming out with each codex release. So it wasn't like this supplement released flyers altogether, but it did combine everything to make it, oh, look, and now you have these
Dogfights, right?
yeah,
Was
dogfights and stuff, which was really actually pretty cool. And then they would sell boxes of 2 different types of flyers so that you could like immediately get into it. It you know what, Blake, it did change kind of the face, like the introduction of flyers, and then this did change the way 40. You're right. Up until that time, it was tanks, walkers, and boots on the ground.
For me, the supplement personifies the the flyers in the game.
No, I think you're right. I think you're
So that's-
absolutely right.
that's
I have
the
no
connection
argument
there.
with this one.
Yeah.
This is actually a very good. Again, it was yet
a
another
strong number
supplement,
3.
but it's a strong.
Is
number
it
3.
better than White Dwarf?
I mean,
No.
I can't wait to see Blake's number 1. I really cannot. So I'm excited about that. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Death from the Skies. All right. So, Travis.
All right. My number 3, although in the title it does say codex, for me, this definitely is a supplement. This is a 3rd edition supplement called Codex Eye of Terror.
Oh my God, this is a good
Interesting.
one. Oh, this is a good call out.
So Eye of Terror is a campaign, and also within it told you what armies were in this campaign and gave you specific lists for those armies. Why this is like so strong and why this is my 3rd is at the time my Eldar were painted as Uthway, and one of the armies in here is an Uthway army. And so I actually participated in an Eye of Terror campaign. I played 3 games. We never really got to the end, but it was great because there was a Space Wolf player. There was a Chaos player. I was the Eldar player. Oh shoot, what's the other one?
Guard.
It was Guard.
Yeah, it was Catachan. It was specifically
Catachan.
Catachan, like army. And
Sorry.
you know, what comes out, I don't remember. I think the Craft World Eldar supplement came out around the same time, which gave you specific rules to play the Craft Worlds, which I thought was excellent as well. But I really found playing this army was really great because the Uthway Guardians like had a better ballistic skills, so they hit better. And it was Uthway Guardians. It was Psychers, it was platforms and jet bikes and Dark Reapers. And I had Eldrad, who was the main character, and I had Wagon Ra, which was the other main character. So it's like I had everything to make this like thematic and actually work. They weren't painted well. I ended up eventually stripping this army and then repainting it as Elatok later on. And I'm happy with how it looks now. But man, you know, it was a really fun supplement, and it spoke specifically to like my play group at the time and the army that I was playing. So it was a big one for me.
Great cover.
Great cover. Ed, you got any points you want to make before I jump in? Because I had to write down some points while he was talking.
So I'm not sure if this is true, but if memory serves me right, the Eye of Terror campaign was a global campaign,
it's a worldwide campaign,
and I think thinking the idea of that, like everybody's playing in this Eye of Terror campaign, was very exciting because this is like before the internet really is as big, as powerful as
it was. Internet 1.0, dude.
Yeah. So a worldwide campaign is very exciting. That's all I got.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I got. I also went on to mention it was a worldwide campaign at the time. I was not playing 40K at this point, and I am jealous that I wasn't, because going back to Blake's first in White Dwarf, they were covering like events that were happening and people were building. Like I remember seeing, it was at some Gamescom or something. They had like this massive table and it had almost like an Arc de Triomphe from France, but it was supposed to be on Cadia, and they had all these little statues on it. And it was just this huge team game that was going on. It was so impressive. And it was that kind of thing that I really wanted to participate in, which is, I think, why campaigns kind of stuck with me. Additionally, later, in 2 different White Dwarfs, they released a 2-part article going back to Blake's first again, why White Dwarf is such a strong, or Blake's fifth, which is why it's such a strong recommendation. They actually gave you rules for how to score and run that campaign yourself, and it pretty much required you to build a spreadsheet to do so. But like how you would gain control of planets in the Eye of Terror area, and then how it would all play out, and how you could run it at home, which actually I utilized as the basis for the first Patreon worldwide campaign I ran for the independent characters. but it's when I gave away like all my old white dwarfs, those were the two issues I kept because they are so strong. And yeah, this was a fantastic. I'm so jealous that I wasn't playing 40K at the time. And I know that Games Workshop was like, oh, this will change the lore. And then Eldrad supposedly died, but then they were like, oh, we didn't want that to happen. And, I mean, I get all that, but man, what a time. Looking back on it, I'm like, we were so innocent back then, I know. And then the internet took it all away. So anyway, they've yet to, I think, repeat that level of like grandiose and enthusiasm about a campaign. That's a fantastic. Yeah.
Now, I was feeling the same thing that you were saying right there. They've yet to repeat that.
Yeah.
And how much of that, just play with it a little bit, how much of that is because I don't want to say spoon-fed, but like the nature of the game now is this is everything. Go. And, from top to bottom, like from models to paints to, and I felt, because I remember there was a supplement once where it's like, you could use a deodorant package to build this.
That was
terrain.
in White
It was a White Dwarf article.
Yeah. Okay.
Now Blake's rethinking his number 5.
No. I'm saying now the influence to do that and to take the ownership doesn't.
It's not quite as prevalent.
Not the same.
I know exactly what you're saying.
It comes out in different ways.
Everything is provided for you, and what isn't, we can 3D print. By the way, and I think it's some of that too. Yeah, I agree with you, Blake. I think it's some of that, but I think it's also, the internet has had a drastic impact on that. Like a codex comes out and people quickly file down to a series of types of lists. Goonhammer, that I love, like immediately as a codex comes out, they're like, here's each of the detachments, and here's example lists of each of those detachments, which I think is a great feature. Like I absolutely have used it. I've looked at it and said, oh, that's interesting, but no, I really don't want to take 3 Mutolith Vortex Beasts, but they're looking at it from a tournament perspective, but like it at least gets me started on building a list. But my point is that, like, I think to a degree, it does get spoon-fed, not just by Games Workshop, but also by the community.
I think it's also could be when these eras that we're looking back on, it wasn't the size of the hobby wasn't as big as it is now.
No, there's some like rose-tinted glasses here, without a doubt.
Like this is a mass market experience now.
Yeah.
I wonder,
but it wasn't then.
I wonder if we're looking at the difference between a privately owned Games Workshop and a publicly traded Games Workshop.
It's probably part of it too.
I think that happened in that transition, and you just have a completely different mindset of what you're trying to achieve.
That could be part of it. I think it's just It's just
but
evolving.
Back to my point, you could run the Avatar with 2 Warlocks as a single unit. I mean, come on, that was amazing.
It was so full of flavor.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
And I know I'm looking through rose-colored glasses. Like a lot of the rules were broken or things didn't work right. And I think we've actually improved some of the rule stuff.
Yeah.
In a sense that it works now.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's I think that's a great suggestion.
Great pick.
Ed?
Thank you.
Great pick. On the idea of Crusades, for my number 3, I'm picking Pariah Nexus. So besides being in a few Mordheim campaigns, I haven't really played too many tabletop miniature campaigns. But I've played this. This is a campaign that I'm currently playing in. And so this is here because I wasn't playing a lot of 40K.
Yeah. And
when Travis invited me to go play with him, I was like, I kind of had to like force myself to go out and play. And I'm enjoying it now, I think more so than I was when I first started the campaign, because, I'm more familiar with the rules. I'm more familiar with the people. I'm also actually at first, and I know Travis is probably in the same boat, or at least I think I'm in a different boat now. But when I was just playing the games and that was it, I wasn't really keeping track of anything other than if my character died and I rolled a 1, I would take on the negatives, but I wasn't doing any of the positive stuff.
You have to engage in the system.
Yes, exactly.
You have to engage in the system.
Of course.
But you know what, for Ed, it was too much in the beginning to really
understand. I can understand why.
Yeah. I just wanted to play 40K, and that's what I signed up for. But now that I'm my rating is still like at a negative whatever because I haven't upgraded anything yet. But I am keeping track of things, and in order to improve my the size of my army, I do have to spend some of those points that I've acquired. So I've started to keep track of things, and I find it's a little more fun when you're doing that as well.
And the Goomhammer website makes that super easy to keep track of. Actually, I think it's the only way you can interact with with Crusade is with the Goomhammer website. I have almost no upgrades because I had to completely change my entire list when the codex came out.
Yeah, that'll do
fine.
you in.
Yeah.
It's worth it for your codex, though.
Oh yeah.
I had thought about, even though I don't, I was thinking about a Pariah Nexus as well, or any of these Crusade supplements, because they just released a new one, right?
That's true. That's the only one that I own and have actually read, but I think maybe all of them could be lumped into these new 10th edition Crusade books.
But I was thinking about putting on my list, but then I was like, okay, more geared towards affecting me personally.
Oh yeah,
I can see.
There's no wrong choice here.
No, but I'm definitely on board with Ed's pick on the Pariah Nexus and the Crusade space.
I love the economy of the Blackstone in that particular thing. That's the one that introduces Blackstone, right? Yeah, I like how you're like fishing for this Blackstone and then you can use it. Like I think it's a very cool thematic feel to it. It's not a bad pick. This is the first one I actually played too, and it is the first one I enjoyed. Yeah.
I think my only critique of it is I think the one we're currently in is too long form. I think that it works much better as a more short, concise. This is like it's 6 games in round 1, 6 games in round 2, and then 3 games in round 3.
I'd rather do 3
kind of a lot.
We would be done.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're all getting to the point where like we have other things going on in our life too, that it's just like we have limited amount of time. And although that sounds great in theory, like, 3-3-3 might have been the better move, Ed. And then you're done and then you can do a different one or something,
I say 3-3-1.
Let's not go crazy.
Okay. All right.
It's a great suggestion. All right. My number 3 to round out this section of the episode. Imperial Armor, the Badab War, Part 1 and 2.
See, you're in like a different. There's levels to this, to this hobby, and you've always been a level higher than me. And being able to interact with the Imperial Armor, you were just a different caliber, a different class of hobbyer.
Blake, you could have done it too. You just had different priorities.
Yeah, different priorities.
I didn't have them. I was broke.
Also, Forge World started sending us these. But
either way, go.
Listen, this is why. First, it's an amazing story, the Badab War. It elicited tons of articles on Bella Lost Souls and other things when Bella Lost Souls was relevant, and people were genuinely into, I'm going to make this chapter of Marines because it was Marine on Marine action. This is before Horus Heresy does not exist at the point that this comes out, right? So it's primarily Marines versus Marines in this. Everybody has Marines sitting around typically. They're like, I'm going to paint this chapter. I'm going to paint that chapter. It's a fantastic story. It's written by Alan Bly. Involves, friends of mine, Alan, John, Ed is working. My friend Ed is working at Forge World at the time and is involved in it as well. And so like, it resonates with me on that level, but more than anything, This is the first introduction of Zone Mortalis rules.
Oh,
Small games of 500 points or so in corridors and even tighter terrain. We still didn't have that terrain at that time. Jeff and I were trying to put this together, and we just crammed as much. Like, the terrain did not look particularly thematic or whatever, but it introduced me to a new way of playing 40K that I fell in love with. And I was like, Zone Mortalis might be the best way to play this game at this point. This was 7th edition, I believe. So, and also the books are gorgeous. And I mean, they're stunning, art in them. Jeff would complain about the color plates all the time, and I loved it getting under his skin. It came with a map and a beautiful poster and all the chapters of Marines. And it was just a fantastic production from top to bottom. And it came with a slip cover that Adon would probably throw away. And, I can make fun of him when he's not here. It's fantastic. And it was just a fantastic product. And to this day, it's one of my cherished kind of products that I have on my shelf.
Yeah, my main interaction with this is actually yours and Jeff's coverage of it back in Independent Care, and it made me it was great coverage, and it made me a little jelly, that sounds really cool.
I got to tell you, it was also a moment for the independent characters because nobody was covering Forge World stuff at the time. I bought the first book and covered it. And then next thing I know, I got an email from Alan Bly, and he's like, "Hey, by the way, I'm the author of the book. Somebody pointed me your coverage. I listened to it. I'm glad you really liked it, and blah blah blah." I was like, "Oh, that's cool." He goes, "Would you mind if we send you preview copies of the next book?" And I'm like, "Let me think about that." I called Jeff. I was so excited. I'm all, "Jeff, you're not going to believe the email I just got." This was at a time too where Games Workshop was like not. I mean, this is for me personally, but where the Games Workshop was not engaging with anybody.
They really weren't.
That was the main. Now you have influencers getting stuff like nobody got that. And we, for whatever reason, our show, and I think it was the positivity around our show, broke through that barrier. And they were like, these are guys that, are going to help promote and they're speaking our language. And we were critical when we needed to be. Doom and Mimiara, we were like, this is not a great story. It wasn't written by Alan, it was written by somebody else. But I'm like, this is where this falls. The art's beautiful, but the rest of this thing falls down. And so then they sent us the second book and we were in love with it. And it was just fascinating. And I made lifelong friends out of it. So there's that. But it is also a seminal moment for Imperial Armor in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Nothing else to add. Okay. Let's wrap up. That's okay. Because we're at an hour of this segment. So let's wrap this segment up. We'll come back and we'll wrap up our final two choices each. All right.
It's going to be quicker.
It's going to be a little bit, maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see. I don't know. I when we hear whatever your number one is, Blake, my mind is going to be blown.
Prepare yourselves.
We will be right. I'm preparing myself to be a bit disappointed that you came in too hot. We'll be right back.
Came in with a bomb.
Sorry I'm late, guys. I just finished a tank weathering class with Justin from
Hey, Travis, that's great. But Blake and I came up with the greatest event ever.
Really? I'm all ears.
All right, tell him, Ed. But start with the best part.
Okay, it's a 40K GT, and the best part is it takes place on the beach.
But
I know what you're going to say. How can you enjoy the beach when you're playing all day long? Here's the best part. It's only 2 leisurely 3.5-hour matches per day.
Yes, but
let me stop you right there, Travis. The best part is this is an all-inclusive 4-day, 3-night retreat with lodging and 10 meals included for only $400.
I know, because
I haven't got to the best part yet, Travis. The best part is it's in Hawaii.
Guys, that's great, but it's already being done.
Really?
Yes. War on the Shore is a GT that takes place from January 8th to the 11th in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii, and it incorporates everything you've already said. But you want to know what the best part is?
What?
It's for charity.
For more information, head to tablewarcharities.org/events and aloha.
All right, and we're back. We're going to wrap up our last two choices each, and then I have a few runner-ups that I had picked that I want to maybe kind of go over why I didn't select those or whatnot, but White Dwarf is not on those, nor is it on my top 5, and I'm really regretting it because I think Blake came in super hot.
I get the award.
I can't wait to see number 1. I'm excited.
Where is my award from Games Workshop?
All you have to do is do a bunch of like, what do you call it? Almost like
community building,
community service
type
of thing. That's what I got my Warhammer hero for.
I'm just number 2.
Number 2, starting with Blake.
Number 2, and Planetary Empires. We talked about this.
All right.
Okay.
It was.
This may go faster.
Yeah.
It's a good
Planetary Empires. Go.
Strong choice.
Strong choice. I think we said everything that needed to be said.
Yeah.
All right.
My number 2.
All right.
Maybe a little controversial pick, but it's going a little bit with Ed, with Blake's theory. This is specifically the 2nd edition Warhammer 40K supplement. It says on the cover, Codex Assassins.
Oh.
When this Codex came out in 2nd edition, for my play group specifically, like it really changed like the game. For me, it was like, because they first released these in White Dwarf. There you go, like the thought of these assassins. But there was something about like the Imperium sending, because my buddy played. One guy was doing Imperial Guard, another guy was doing Space Wolves. And like they both started taking assassins, and it's like, oh, the Imperium has sent this assassin to help you in this battle because Eldrad is just a problem, because that's always who they would kill, would be Eldrad on my team. But it I don't know, like it unlocked my mind. It made those games so interesting. The one that like would like look like a guardian and be like walking around, and all of a sudden, like, you know, the chemicals would go off, and the psychic assassin, and it really was the Vindicator, that long range sniper was the one that was always like,
I think when you think assassin, that's what you think.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, but then they created these other, you know, unique ways that the Assassinorium would train these guys and develop them, and yeah, it's a very unique look. That's an interesting pick. That is
it's just and they've, you know, released similar, you know,
updated models for these
models and stuff like that,
and they still hold people's attention. Like there's been Black Library books written about multiple assassons, you know.
I mean, there's literally the Imperial Agents Codex now has all the assassins in it.
That's right. Right. So it's carried forward.
Yeah.
Any thoughts there, Ed?
I mean, I think assassins are cool. So, but I wasn't playing in 2nd edition. I really was playing in 3rd. So,
but I had a Vindicator assassin, not in 2nd edition, but that sniper has carried through, and in fact, that sniper is the Warhammer Plus.
It was
with the first,
yeah.
You know,
I sold mine.
Did you make some money on it?
Yeah,
good.
I think I made back my Warhammer subscription.
Oh, nice,
dude! That new model they're coming out with for Warhammer Plus.
Both of them. Both
the
Eldar one,
fantastic.
Yeah,
and you get one, and you have the option to buy the other one. Yeah. They're both really, really nice looking. That Eldar one looks. I'll bet you that.
That's going to be cool.
If for people outside the Warhammer Plus subscription, that thing will sell for a good amount of money.
Oh,
good.
Sure.
I think so.
I can't wait to sell mine. Travis, you want one?
I'm getting one, dude.
I'm getting one too.
I have all of mine like still in boxes. I haven't done anything with them yet, but maybe I'll just sit on them. And just like I wanted to do with Apocalypse. Can you imagine if we bought like just bunches of boxes of those Apocalypse stuff, put them in a garage? We would like be making like 300% profit on it right now.
Who needs a 403B?
But if you had bought $1,000 for that Space Marine company, They're all firstborn.
They're all first
You
one.
sat
It'd
on
be
it
worth
too long.
nothing.
You sat on it
it would
too
be
long.
worth nothing.
It'd be
But
like
Land Raiders.
Yeah.
If you had a box of Land Raiders right now,
But it'd be sitting
gotta-
like the
buy
first
mine,
gen. You're like sitting on Amdal stock. It's like not
yeah,
worth it.
that's true. That's why I didn't do it.
right,
It was the risk rewards.
Travis, what is your...
so Assassin, don't have a lot more to say about it other than it just really added so much flavor, and our games just became so much
resonated.
more fun because
It
of that.
resonated with your play group.
Yeah.
And your
Yeah.
play.
Yeah. And that's probably
Cool.
a lot of the inspiration for a lot of these picks. But Ed,
Yeah.
what did you pick?
All right.
Number 2.
My number 2. I'm going to start off by saying Warhammer 40K 5th edition was released in 2008. Okay. Blake, myself, and our buddy Josh got really into 40K at that time.
Big Cat.
Big Cat.
Rest in power.
Shout out to Big Cat. We played a ton of games, but the rule book had only 3 missions. Do you remember what they were? Seize ground,
Line breaker,
capture control,
big guns on tire.
annihilation. That's it. Okay.
I
know
where you were going.
And then there was 3 deployments. You roll for the
types.
3 deployment types.
So you basically had a
And that's-
combination of the deployment and the mission. Yeah.
Yeah. Which really wasn't much. So after playing almost weekly, because we played at the hobby shop almost weekly for 2 years, those options get pretty stagnant.
Yeah.
So when this book came out, it was like an oasis in a desert of missions here. It was a book called Battle Missions.
Yep.
And it was just
That was a
like,
soft cover splat book, right?
I think so.
I think it was.
I think it was soft cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that it just gave you such a variety of missions that we were just begging for at that time.
Yeah. Can I tell
So-
you that is one of my
Yeah.
runner-ups?
Oh, okay, good to know.
Yeah. It was great.
So yeah, I think that's what, and for me in that time, because I think 5th edition is probably where I played the most Warhammer that I've ever played, and the hundreds of games I played, it was nice to finally get some variety in there because it was much needed.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree very strongly with this. Like I said, it was one of my runner-ups. And I think there was even later in 7th edition, like a hardbound similar battle missions book. And the theme of that was like you had one mission that was the deployment and everything was kind of, it was by army. And then you had one mission that was kind of like the in your favor a little bit. And then one kind of well-balanced mission, and then one in your opponent's favor a little bit. So you could like pick through these things and make like a string of missions together that made for very interesting battles with your friends and stuff. And like you said, those were the only three missions, and suddenly you had like a huge amount of choice, and it really did revitalize, I think, that edition. I think 5th edition at a certain point got really stale. Like it was very samey. And especially in the tournament scene, but outside of that, like we were doing a lot of unique things.
I would even say that although 2nd edition had a way to make the missions more flavorful and different, but 3rd, 4th, and 5th, like the mission design seemed very narrow, and this book opened it up. And I think we're at a point now where we typically always do have a lot of different types of ways to play.
Cards make it so there's such a variety of what can happen with the cards. Yeah
Absolutely. And that like just built upon kind of what this book did.
And I would also,
very good pick.
I think so. And I would also argue that like the 5th edition mission suddenly became more gamey than war gamey. What I mean by that is like 4th edition, like you would get to the end of the battle and you'd be like, so who won? Well, we got to calculate who's what units at half strength. Okay, that one's worth such and such. What's this? It was so complex to me that I was just like, we'd finish the game. I'd be playing my buddy Jason. We'd finish the game and I'd be like, all right, so what's the end result, Jason? Like I don't, and suddenly 5th edition was like objectives on the table that you were trying to grab, and so you would if I remember correctly, that's where and it was like you're getting these objectives. I think prior to that there wasn't objectives on a table. It was destroying units.
Not like that. Yeah.
I'd have to
really
go back
like that.
Yeah, so it did become more. And in some ways, that's more interesting. It's like, why am I here? Not just to shoot you. I'm here to actually accomplish something. Yeah. But Ed's right. Like, it did get stale real fast. But then all of a sudden, this plethora of answers came out, and it was much more involved.
Yeah.
All right. So that was Ed. Oh, so it's me.
You.
It's me.
Yeah. Number two.
My number 2 is Cities of Death. So again, I couldn't agree more with Travis's number 1 there. I think I made all my points.
Number 5.
Or excuse me, number 5. Yeah, it's number 1 on my list. I'm keeping track of who chose what. Is Cities of Death. I think we talked about all the rules and all the action and the way it changed the way 40K was played. It encouraged us to try to build terrain, but then also acquire terrain. And then it's my number 2 because it had that much of an impact on our gaming group at the time. Like it was suddenly that was the only way we wanted to play the game. And I remember then going back to other missions and being like, oh, okay, let's do it. Let's figure out. We need more terrain. We were like people would bring their terrain collections. Now, when people come over to my house, generally I'm like, okay, I've got 3 or 4 boards of terrain. Occasionally, I'll be like, hey, can somebody bring some terrain? We're gonna have like 6 boards, But again, 3D printers are making that even more viable. Yeah. I think something like Cities of Death now, buddy. Like with the ability to print all this stuff that we can print, like we could make some. That's why, but this is the thing. Like you almost don't need it. Like
it's like
we can take the old one, add a couple little twists.
Do you know what we do? We take the old one, we add it to boarding actions, and it kind of use some of those things, and we turn it into a new thing.
All right, that's also what we're going to do on the 3-day
planetary,
planetary boarding action campaign. I'm loving this.
I think some of the line of sight stuff in boarding action would work good in Cities of Death.
I concur. All right. So let's now. This is it.
I'm excited.
This is number 1. Wait, should we change up the order and have Blake go last?
No, it's fine. Okay, I think it's fine. It's fine.
I feel like we want to keep everybody on pins and needles.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
We're gonna go reverse order.
Reverse order.
I will go with my number 1. All right.
Absolutely.
Here's my number 1, and Blake's gonna get all pissy at me again. Imperial Armor 12, The Fall of Orpheus. This introduced what I consider to be one of the greatest 40K campaign systems of all time. It revolutionized the way Imperial Armor books were created and written, and the campaign system ended up evolving a little bit and becoming what the Horus Heresy campaign system became, even to this day. It's gone through evolutions to this day.
Question. So the people who your friends who were behind this Imperial Armor stuff,
Alan,
were some of them or all of them, were they the originators of the Horus Heresy game, the play? Yes. Okay, so this was like a continuity thing.
Yeah. Alan wrote this book, and then Alan was the initial writer, along with other people like
of course
Andy, Alan, John. All of these people were involved, but Alan was the head writer. And,
that was just in my head, and I wanted.
That's why his passing was such a loss to this thing. Yeah. But the other very freaking cool thing about Imperial Armor 12 was up until this point, a lot of the Imperial Armor books, if they weren't just like, here's these Forge World units and the rules for them, was okay. So here's the campaign that took place, and here's all the forces, as you said with the Eye of Terror thing. Here's all the forces that were there. So if you want to replay these battles, here's the armies you need to replay these battles, and here's the missions and whatnot. Fall of Orpheus changed that, where it was like, yes, here's the forces that are there: the Necrons, the Minotaurs, the Death Corps of Krieg, some Imperial Guard. Okay, so those were the forces that were there, and this is the story of how the Orpheus system, like half of it goes dark because the Necrons have arrived and they're just taking over this area and nobody can get communication in or out. And now you decide how the battle ends. Like, it didn't tell you this was the end of the battle. It says now you decide how this happens by playing the campaign. And the other thing about the campaign is it's so freaking flexible. Any game you play can count towards your campaign adjustment. We don't have time to play a full-on 40K game. Hey, let's play some Kill Team Travis, and that'll determine, our winner for that particular section of the campaign. You want to play Battlefleet Gothic and have it count? Yep, you can play Battlefleet Gothic.
Boom.
You could as blasé as it sounds, you could literally flip a coin if you had to. You obviously wouldn't want to, but my point is, like, we could play a game of Dawn of War on the PC, Travis, and that could count towards the campaign. Yeah, it's dictated by win or loss of your game over spans of weeks, and you have part 1 of the campaign, part 2, part 3, and you can play as many games as you can within that period of time. So it's such a revolutionary system for a campaign system, and so flexible that it is fun. And then I ended up taking this system, rewriting it for Tyranids, because Tyranid Codex was coming out in 7th edition, rewrote it so Tyranids kind of took the place of the Necrons. And who else wants to play? Okay, these. And so, here, I wrote the campaign and just used the same thing. And I just reskinned the missions effectively. And you could use any missions you want. I wrote a couple and then reskinned some. Unfortunately, the Tyranids were so awful in 7th edition. They weren't a threat to anybody. No. Everybody got creamed. But it really did set me on a campaign path that I was like, this is a doable, workable campaign system that everybody can participate in. Yeah. And the story's awesome. And I own all the photos that are then taken and used in the Imperial Armor books and then Photoshopped to look like, these are the battles that are going on. I own all of the models that were used in that for the Minotaurs. The actual models.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love
from
seeing
Ed
that.
when he built.
Yeah.
Which I'll never play. I'll never play.
No.
Top tier hobbyist.
He was going to sell them to me at way less than they were worth. And I said, I cannot take them off your hands for that. Like, I need to pay you more money than that. This is ridiculous. And I still got him at a steal.
Got a smoking deal.
Yeah. So that's my number one pick.
And he's still
number 12, The Fall of Orpheus. And I still
making payments.
Yeah.
Still making payments. But you know what? It's worth it.
Okay.
I don't have anything to add because I think you said it all. I agree. It never touched my hobby heart because I just didn't have interaction.
When we run a campaign, it will. And here's the other thing. We could run a campaign where you guys in Southern California are playing and we're playing up here, and then when we meet, we play games, and those games will count. But it could be separate. I will.
Okay.
I will start brainstorming that.
Okay.
Ed needs to start brainstorming. And it was Blake or Ed who came up with the 3-day weekend.
That's Travis.
It was Travis.
That was Travis.
Travis needs to
everybody.
Travis needs to come up with 3-day weekend. I'll come up with the longer campaign.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, and then the new Dawn of War's coming out, so we could just play that online.
Dawn of War.
And then those count to the games.
And it could count towards the game. Oh, Ed. Listen, this is a brain trust right here.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
Probably one of us has a brain. It's Travis, but occasionally we come up with good ideas.
It's a brain trust and a free time destroyer.
Ed, we're going to jump to you now. What is your number one pick?
Okay. My number one pick is a book. It was a softcover, and it's called How to Make Wargames Terrain. So
It is such a good selection, dude. It is such a good choice.
I can't even say the number of times I picked up that book. And
I still have it.
Yes. I mean, even if I wasn't hobbying, even if I wasn't doing anything remotely, I could open that book and just flip through the pages and have the joy and the feeling of building something with my hands. So that book had a lot, because, when this book came out, they weren't selling terrain kits.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
You couldn't just buy ready-made terrain kits. So when you're looking in the codexes or you're looking in White Dwarfs and you're seeing these battles and you're seeing these cool pieces of terrain that they're hand building, scratch building. In this book, they were like, well, this is how we did this, or this is how we get water effects.
Yeah.
This is how you make your own river. So
it demystified a lot of it.
Yeah.
a little bit, yeah, but in a good way, I think.
Yeah.
So
No, I mean that as
it
a compliment. Like it
yeah.
You would look at those things and go, how do you do that? And they'd be like, well, here's how we did it. You know?
Yeah. There was a lot of those moments like, oh, so that's how you do it when you flip through those pages, and it made it to be like it's not as hard as it looks. Yeah. And
I will say it does still require some skill though. Like
it does.
Like you're not going to just be like, oh, that's how they did it. Look, I made one just like it. It's like mine. Why is mine falling apart? You know?
Oh, true. Man, maybe that's because you didn't follow all the steps.
Probably.
Because you're speeding up, or you're making substitutions because you don't have the things that they have in England.
Yeah.
You know. So it kind of made me want to make terrain, and so that's why I picked that book, and it's my number one. I probably opened that book a million times.
That is a very strong number one. I think we were talking terrain earlier. I looked at my list and I said, because that book came up earlier in just a discussion, and I was like, I don't even have that in my runner up, and that's a really good. I think that's a strong number one, Ed. I think that's a strong number one. Travis. Sorry.
You know, I think it harkens back to some of the things we were talking about before. Like this was the DIY era. Mm-hmm. This was like, it wasn't a mainstream thing. It was almost punk. And the thing is, those guys who started the game were punks.
Yeah, they were punk rock for sure.
They were, you know, like scuzzy teenagers in Thatcher's Doom world Britain, and everything was DIY. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much you heard on my thesis here, Carl.
I did. I heard it all.
But there is a definite connection across the board. Like, yes, it's a different era because it was a different community, and it was being run by different people.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like our embryo.
I think,
and maybe that's why the Imperial Armor stuff is so good to you, because the Imperial Armor stuff was kind of a small group of guys inside the company who were kind of doing their own thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's a very astute point, I think. And the Imperial Armor stuff feels more like a actual like gritty grimdark, whereas I feel like the 40K studio was putting out more like a comic book version of the grimdark at that time.
Yeah. So
that's actually a very, very interesting point. And
like DIY, small groups of DIY people are producing these things.
Yeah.
And I think the terrain book is that.
In addition to the how to build war games terrain, Ed, I would say that Dave Taylor produced a Mel Bowes book called Terrain Essentials, which is a hardback, much thicker book with a lot more detail on that stuff. And that is a fantastic book if you can get a hold of it. I'm sure it's still around in print. Yeah. Mel Bowes.
Yeah.
The Terrain Tutor, I think, is what he goes by on YouTube. It's a fantastic book. So yeah, good, very good selection, man. And a great point, Blake.
Strong, Ed. Very strong.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Travis.
So my number one, it was the first one I picked. I knew this was my number one the moment that you gave me this premise.
Okay.
Yeah. And interesting enough, I don't think that any of you have ever interacted with this.
Okay.
Because 40K, my journey of 40K, second edition is 40K to me. Like that was so formative. And I probably have played more games in other editions, but I mean, I was playing weekly, sometimes twice a week in a friend group. Sure. I was very young, had lots of time, and I was just always like involved in 40K at that time. And the second edition of 40K, soon after it then released its first supplement called Warhammer 40K Dark Millennium.
Oh.
Now, Dark Millennium was a essential supplement to 40K. I've heard rumors that it actually completed the edition, that like the edition doesn't actually really work without this supplement. But what it was a 48-page rule book, a bunch more vehicle data cards. So they had only released a small amount of vehicles, and then it actually fully fleshed out the psychic phase. It gave full decks of powers for every army. And then the psychic phase had a deck a card mechanic. It was like a 36 warp card that you weren't rolling. Well, I mean, sometimes you would roll dice, but you were shuffling these cards and dealing them out to both sides. And that's how you generated your psychic powers, was depending on what card you got dealt. And some of the cards would be nullifies. Some of them would be, so there was this really fun little card game that was happening in the psychic phase that allowed you to do, and then it had templates for all of the different psychic powers in there, a bunch of different counters, and 55 new war gear cards.
It came in a box. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a box.
I'm looking at it.
It was basically a box. Tom has it, so and almost complete. And it also came out with strategy, mission cards. And this is what kept like the flavor going. It's like you would have these strategy cards that you could like, and you would deal a mission that would be for everyone, and then you would have these strategy cards that was giving you like other little things that you could do. It just really made the game so much more,
dude. The
depth to the
cover
game.
Art is awesome.
And what an amazing cover art, man! Yeah, it's just
I'm looking at it online now.
Yeah, the Dark Millennium like really opened up, and that's when like 40K really kicked it. We were kind of 50-50 40K and fantasy. Dark Millennium came out,
rocket fuel,
and we just almost never played fantasy anymore because like 40K just became the shiz, and we just loved it.
I gotta tell you, there was for a while they were developing an MMO for 40K called Dark Millennium.
I remember
I remember the teaser video of it, and it had a Warhound Titan walking, and the guy looking up at the Warhound Titan as it walked past him, and I was like, oh, I was super into, like, at the time, EverQuest and World of Warcraft, and I was like, I am so in, and then the thing bombed.
It fell apart. Yeah, I was very excited for that too.
To launch a game like that.
So bad.
They ran out of money, but it's unfortunate. It was looking really cool. Oh man, but the cover art of this expansion is awesome. I see all the cards in it and stuff.
Travis, I distinctly remember doing psychic phases where you got dealt a hand.
Oh, that's interesting.
And your hand
so you
changed
played
what
psychic,
you could do.
It really did. Because every psychic power either took 1, 2, or 3 force points. And if you like didn't have enough force points, but also you got dealt your nullifies in there too. So someone could do a psychic card, you play your nullify card to counteract it. It was fun.
Travis,
I really liked it.
This is a very strong argument. Like it's Warhammer 40K as we know it today, like in its development cycle.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be where it is without this expansion. This is a very interesting choice. I think it's a strong one. Good job. All right.
Hey,
Number one.
The moment we have all waited for.
You know what?
Greater than White Dwarf. Greater than the 5th edition Nid Codex.
Listen.
Death from the Skies, or Planetary Empires. Blake's number one pick.
This supplement here gets down to the bare bones of what we're doing here.
I'm wondering if Blake's thinking of changing his number one.
No. It's
he wouldn't do that.
I know.
To the bare bones of what are we doing here?
I'm dying to know what it is.
How to roll Citadel dice.
Oh my God, you got to.
No, I'm joking.
Do you remember? I hate you so much. I fell for it.
Yeah, you got me.
The April Fools.
Oh my God, that was great.
Yeah, I remember that.
How to roll Citadel. Okay, boom.
All right.
Anyways, so I would say my number one pick, probably a little disappointing, in the grand scheme of things, but
of course,
all of our
it's
stuff
all
has been about. It's all been about the books that are reflective or resonate with our hobby life.
Okay.
And for me, there was a time when I had to make a choice between Blood Angels or Dark Angels.
Oh.
So it's the classic Angels of Death Codex.
Okay.
Okay.
This is and for me, this is the main book. This is the book that took me
You're
all the
still
way
playing
through.
Blood Angels.
Still playing Blood Angels.
That's the impact.
I have some Dark Angel metal models. I ended up painting a couple Dark Angel models. So there was a moment in my hobby experience where I might have went Dark Angels, but I think I didn't like how it was like these guys are where they have white armor, these guys have black armor, these guys have green armor. Like I didn't really like that. So
But now
stuck with
you've
the
got
Blood Angel.
red armor or black armor or gold armor.
Yeah, well, hey, there is a theme there, right? You know. But yeah, for me, this is a very personal pick.
Oh, I get it.
The Angels of Death Code. And you know what? It was back in the era where there wasn't a formula for the cover.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now you have all the codexes of an era have like the same border, the same, so this is,
Blake, I think this is a strong pick. Like, and it clearly resonated with you as you're still a Blood Angels, fanboy. And I say that in the best possible way. No,
I have models for other army, but I still.
But
really
you keep
only
coming
have
back
Blood
to them.
Angels.
So, I think all of these picks are personal, and I think that for you personally is a very strong pick. I think White Dwarf is too far down on your list, but hey, it's a good choice. None of us thought to put it in at all. So,
yeah,
I am an educator.
Yeah.
Do you still have your Codex Angels of Death?
I'd have to look. I don't know.
It's going for about $150 on eBay.
Well,
that's a Land Raider.
I wouldn't sell it even if I did.
Ooh, yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Blake, I like your pick, man. I like it.
It's no White Dwarf, guys.
But it's a strong pick.
Not.
No, but it makes
personal.
sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Makes complete
But for
sense.
me, White Dwarf had less. White Dwarf doesn't have as much to do with my actual playing. The
makes
game.
sense. Makes
But,
sense.
yeah.
No, makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
You should all feel bad.
I got a couple runner-ups here that I just wanted to share because these were ones that almost made my list. One was the last edition of Apocalypse, which I thought was taking a cue from Epic. We played I think one game of it, and I wish we play more because it was a lot of fun. Mechanically, it worked great. It was a real change of direction. I think it worked fantastic. Battle Missions was one of my runner-ups, as I said. Boarding Action, the latest Boarding Actions book, is I think it's the best supplement in 10th edition so far. My only frustration is we don't play a lot of it because of the terrain. I've had some difficulty getting that terrain. We've played with it on my Zone Mortalis terrain. But it really does require, I think, the boarding actions terrain to be effective. And I'm just, the hill to climb there to play it is a little steep for me at the moment.
Boarding Actions was a runner-up for me too, and it's because I actually have a 3D printed set that should function really good, but there's still so much work I have to put into it. I just haven't done it, so it's just at some point I'm going to play a lot of Boarding Actions.
I agree with you. Probably that 3-day campaign weekend.
Yeah, that 3-day weekend for sure.
It's going to be so crammed.
It's going to be
so full.
Sleep. You'll sleep when you're dead.
That's what the cocaine's for.
That's funny.
Wow.
What do you mean you forgot the amphetamines?
Yeah.
That's why we invited you.
Listen,
You're a pharmacist.
if it was good enough for Japanese World War II fighter pilots,
Oh no.
or American housewives, it's good enough for us, baby. I would say that a runner-up book for me was actually Codex Armageddon.
Yes.
Which is the book that comes
that's a good one too.
before Codex Eye of Terror.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, I didn't play it as much, but it was it was stuff that I wish I could have done.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Steel Legion.
it had
Steel
all
Legion.
of these Black Templar, Salamanders, Steel Legion, Cult of Speed.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, it's like these are also these style of books, the Eye of Terror and Armageddon, are kind of like the precursors to like the Badab War and these other Imperial Armor books.
Sure.
But then again, I looked here, was Andy Chambers, Jervis, or Gavin, were they involved in, but they're kind of like Andy, of those.
I think Andy was involved in some of the Badab War stuff. And
okay, well, that was another pod of creators inside the company, those guys there.
Yeah. I don't think Jervis was, but I know Alan and I think Andy was. And
either way, that would be a book that but I didn't really get to do it. So, but it was something I wish I could have done.
Yeah, my only other runner-up, I think I kind of mentioned it, was in 3rd edition, they had an Eldar Codex, and then they released the Craft World like supplement for that Codex, which gave you just a few different units and some army rules to do very specific Craft World. They had Eaden, Samham, Aelitok, Belitan, and Uthwi. And I really thought that book was very cool because it still used your main Eldar Codex, but just gave you some very flavorful units to add in there to really make it feel like an Uthwi or an Aelitok force.
Very nice.
That was the era of I had a Space Marine Codex and I had the little pamphlet to go with it for Blood Angels.
Right.
That was the era. That was the era of that time.
And Blood Angels got screwed for a while, and they only had a codex in the White Dwarf.
Oh, they had a PDF. They had a PDF.
They had the
too.
PDF. It came out after it got released in White Dwarf.
But they kind of did that to all the Marines.
White Dwarf, strong choice.
Yeah.
I would say also how to paint
right out of the starting gate, man.
How to paint the Citadel terrain book. The Citadel terrain book is on my my honor roll as well.
I own one. Yeah.
I own 2.
Twice.
I need one.
Well, no, it's just the earlier edition.
There was the earlier,
the red bound and then the blue bound.
I have the blue bound one, and there was another blue bound book too that was
how to paint Citadel miniatures.
How to paint Citadel miniatures. That was one I picked up.
How to roll Citadel dice.
And then how to roll Citadel. God, that was a great April Fool's.
That was a great gag.
Yeah. All right. Great talking to you guys about this. I very much enjoyed this conversation. So let's do this. I'm curious to see what people say in our Discord and on the Facebook group about this because everybody's got their own choices, right? But let me do this. We're going to take a short break. We'll come back and then we'll just.
Jesus, ain't over yet.
We got to close out the show, Blake.
Oh God.
Yeah. You'd know
longer than a 40K game.
You would know this if you read the show notes. We'll be right back. All right, we're back to close out the show. Again, the Hobby Progress Challenge launches September 1st. You have, I think, like 10 days now. I don't remember. I've checked the rules. You have like 10 days to get your first commitment in and then complete it by the end of September for your first entry, and you can earn bonus points. There's like 11 different ways you can earn a bonus. You can earn up to 6 bonus points throughout the year, but there's 11 different ways to earn them. One of them is just like literally like clean up and organize your hobby desk, and take a picture of it before and after. It's super stuff like that. I think one of them is take 2 units that you already have like half painted and finish painting both those units, and you get an entry. So that was Shell's brainchild too, is a good one.
Smart.
So lots of stuff there to do. Again, the independentcharacters.com. You can go to the under our community tab. There's the Hobby Progress Challenge link there. So please leave us reviews on iTunes or wherever you listen to your various podcasts, wherever you get your feed. We appreciate reviews or ratings. If you have any comments or suggestions, you can write Carl at theindependentcharacters.com to send in information, or you can let us know on our Discord or in our lovely Facebook group. So, yeah. And for those who are looking to support the show even more, there's a Patreon where we release additional content, and you can help support the show there, and it's very helpful for us. So thank you very much. Okay. Where can people listen to Life After the Cover Save? In the words of Moose Jaw Jackson, where can they listen to Life After the Cover Save?
Yeah, you could listen to us on Podbean. Any podcast. We're on all the major iTunes, of course, Spotify. You can find us at any major podcasting.
Tell me a little bit about the
hub.
show, because it is not primarily 40K focused any longer. It started off that way, but it evolved over the years.
Yeah, I would say
now more than ever we're back to it. Right?
You're
For
talking
sure.
more about 40K now than you did
than ever before.
in a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're not just purely 40K focused. Clearly you're putting conquest
it's almost we do segments. I would think of like bits.
Yeah.
We got segments and bits where there's an audio visual, like there's a visual component that you could get over on Patreon that I think's really great.
I subscribe.
Yeah. One of maybe the funniest things that's ever happened to me happened on the visual portion, where we were looking at some maybe not great painted models, but telling them that they were for Blake.
God,
never laughed so hard in my life.
That was one of the best rug pulls I have seen.
Really good.
Where it was supposedly, this is the work Ed had been doing for Blake.
Yeah, but the podcast is definitely about the hobby. It's about playing games, and it's about building and painting models.
And I would argue friends in humor.
Yeah, and having making jokes about the whole process.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I very much enjoy it. I do look forward to every episode of your show. I don't listen to a lot of 40K podcasts specifically because I don't want them to influence like my thought process. I'm coming up with ideas for the show and that kind of thing. But I'm never in danger of that when I listen to
the Venn diagram.
That is actually
the closest thing is hobby progress exists.
That is actually not true. Ed, you were doing for a long time your Battle Force breakdown segments, and I was like, this is a great idea for a segment. I wish I'd thought of this.
Great segment.
Yeah, and
It was.
Yeah, I very much enjoyed that. So it's
we've done some Battle Force. We've done some breakdowns recently.
Oh yeah, it's back and it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's great stuff. So check it out. Life After the Cover Save. It's these three great knuckleheads here that I love so much. So you guys are dear friends. I really do appreciate you, and I appreciate you joining me for this episode. I thought it was a lot of fun, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Had a great time.
Anything else anybody else has to add? All right, well, let's close out the show then. So until next time, this is Carl.
This is Ed.
This is Blake.
This is Travis.
And we're coming to you from the Astronomicon, where Blake seems to come in too hot, too fast.
Where life is always sweeter.
Yeah.
Where there is no wasted hobby.
Where White Dwarf should have been number one.
It really should have. It was on all of our lists, I feel.
Yes.
That was a really, as much as we've done like White Dwarf comparisons, Blake, it was good, man. That was good.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
This episode of The Independent Characters is protected by the Creative Commons license. If you have further questions as to its use, you can find information on the front page at theindependentcharacters.com.